Lights, camera, action! We are now live with the High and Light podcast number 8. You're here with me, Josh, Justice, and the OG YouTube travel creator, affectionately known as Lost Leblanc, in the middle of the room. Say hello, everyone.
Do with my hands.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. We want to see your face, so move your hands away from your face.
Yeah, okay. How's that?
Farther?
A little lower, okay.
Little lower.
Yeah.
Lower.
One up, high, one down. Actually, the best method.
This is my first ever podcast, so
Really?
it's a real honor to be here.
That's amazing, actually.
It is.
I'm surprised that someone of your
And that's all the time we have for today. So
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure to be here, and see you next year or something like that.
woo!
Yeah, well, just for everyone that's tuning in today, if you don't know who Lost Leblanc is, his real name is Christian, right? Christian Leblanc.
That is my name, yeah.
And you're from White Rock, BC.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of local boys. I'm from White Rock. I was born in Ontario, but pretty much my whole life has been out here on the BC side, so...
Right,
Yeah, dude.
that's awesome.
Homegrown.
What do people do, by the way? Do I look at you or do I look at cameras?
I don't know.
No.
No cameras. They don't exist.
Oh,
Yeah,
they don't exist. I don't
We're
see you guys.
we're
So
having
ignore
a-
the entire start of the podcast. Let's do this.
Either look at
We're
me
just
look at
drinking
me
Chilean
deeply,
wine.
or look at him. Look at
Yeah,
him.
just stare into my eyes. Just
Yeah.
not around the eyes, just at my eyes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we're just three boys having a conversation.
Yeah,
That's what
totally.
we're doing here.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
and for people who don't know, he's got close to 1 million followers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Damn.
We're getting closer every day. It's pretty wild. I think I started making videos like four years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Started really simple, just like a personal video diary. And a year after that, I kind of decided to turn it into a job. And I remember having a really good conversation with a buddy who, him and I were like, all right, we want to make this our job. We both believed that we could hit 1 million. And for me, it's like right around the corner. For him, he's at 1.6 now. So it's
Okay.
like,
Wow.
it's pretty cool how you just set a goal and it actually comes true sometimes when you work hard.
What's your friend's name?
His name's Will Dasovich.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's crushed it. He's gone on to be like the biggest internet personality in the Philippines. So he's really focused on his niche.
Did you ever think when you were starting that you were going to hit 1 million? Like on most people's milestones were like, yeah, maybe 10K. If I can get that K, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't start that way because like I literally started just as it was like almost like a storage facility for my videos.
Yeah.
It was like, where can I be able to watch these like 30 years down the line when I'm old and boring and like want to relive my Thailand school exchange. So I didn't start with any purpose to it other than keeping memories. So it wasn't until I decided that this would be my job that I was like, okay, I don't know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but this is the goal. Is like, that's the lofty goal. It's like, you don't say, oh, I want 1,000. Like
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
you want 1 million, but like, not everyone believes that they can do it. But I think that anyone that makes this their job and actually dedicates every day to fulfilling that, like, how do I get a new and greater and better video at every time? I think they can hit 1 million if they find their niche, if they find their audience.
100%. Like right now, it's like more than ever. People are realizing they can do it. They can just, if you put your drive into passion, everything, you have some skill behind the camera, you want to learn, you can do literally anything you want as long as you have enough drive, passion, and you work your ass off.
It's a hell of a lot of work, but it's possible for anyone that's willing to do
Yeah, exactly. But you and like the guys like Riker, Lexi, Parker, when we first started High on Life, you guys were all trailblazers. This world that exists now is been shown by people like you and have now shown the world that it is possible. Now everyone's jumping on that, on the wagon, but they can do it, right? But you guys started when you didn't even know there was a possibility of where you're at now.
Seriously,
right?
yeah.
There's money in it. Like you just had a GoPro and you went traveling, and then you realized, shit, I like doing this.
Yeah, it's the biggest blessing because like when you do something that was your passion and your hobby and it somehow is able to pay you for what you love doing, it's like you never work.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I work all the time, it's like it doesn't feel like I work.
I know you grind. I know you work.
Yeah, there's a lot of grind.
Yeah, what does an average day for Christian Leblanc look like?
It's super cyclical. So it's either on the road filming, traveling, or it's editing and not seeing the daylight. So right now I'm in the no daylight zone where I'm just like catching up on client edits. I've built a team. The team is currently on vacation, so I am not on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with a lot of work right now. In December, as you guys might experience, it's first of all, it's the best ad revenue. So it's like you have that incentive to get more videos out. And second, that's when a lot of companies are trying to clear out their year-end marketing budgets. So for me, I had 3 of my biggest brand deals all lined up within the last 2 weeks of December, and it was pretty hectic.
Right.
So
Boys, write that down. We need to remember that. Let's get some partnerships out there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
yeah.
it was awesome. I mean, it was kind of a serious grind period, but worth it.
Yeah, completely. And the show doesn't stop just because your team takes a vacation. Like, you got to keep on going. There's no pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we've noticed about you. It's remarkable, just the hustle that you have, the grind since the beginning. Like, I mean, going back and watch your videos, how consistently you put them out, even the different streams of revenue you have right now. Just like watch your video again, just all like the Patreon, the Shopify, the travel guides, the how-to videos. Like, you're doing it all. You're checking all the boxes, and I think that's incredible. And like
It's working really well.
Poster boy for someone that wants to like learn in this world, but also have a different sorts of passive income that really helps support their goals and dream and for them for the travel. So like, tip your hat, man. We're all learning from you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Would you are you at freedom to say like which brands you're working for, like in the past, those 3 brands you were talking about?
Yeah. So let me think about them. So I got Bombardier, which is a Canadian plane and train manufacturer, which that was a really interesting brand deal. Like, I didn't really see completely the strategy for them, because I mean, me making a video isn't really going to sell a train, but I think it was like almost just like a pride video. Like, they wanted to show what their company was about. And so for them to trust me enough to show that was like such an honor. And first of all, they're Canadian, so that was a really cool company to work with. It was a challenge to make that an interesting organic video without it being like, this is Bombardier. Like,
buy their trains
so
right
far
now
left from my usual
buy
content.
their trains.
Yeah.
Swipe up, buy a train.
Swipe up 10% off your next Pride train.
It's only $9 million.
Get some presets with your trains.
I was checking the price, actually. The San Francisco airport has a little tiny SkyTrain that connects the whole terminals.
Okay.
I think that thing cost them just shy of $1 billion or something crazy. So if you're in the market, they're great trains, and check it out. Swipe up.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
The second one is Samsung.
Okay.
That goes live on Saturday, assuming the approval comes in. So that's the other challenge, is like there's little revisions that go back and forth, and then sometimes the client is goes a couple days without checking, and then you're like, oh, the video's got to go up. But so they were supposed to go up earlier, but they're going to be this Saturday. Then there's oh my gosh, I just blanked. Malibu Rum. As you guys know, you've worked with them.
We've worked with them.
Yeah.
And they've been fantastic. They've been one of my favorite sponsors this year, and that video went live 2 days ago.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah. It's great that we've been working on the same kind of projects, because I watched how you do it and seeing how we do it. We had a lot of fun making our videos. It was just in Mexico having a good time, and then you were in Thailand for yours, right?
Yeah. I went to Thailand specifically for it. Like, a lot of the time when I have a branded video, I want to make sure that it's even more important than ever before that it doesn't stick out as being branded. So I had to do a video that, even though it required extra travel, extra time, it's like I want to make sure that like I really put all the best information or cinematics into that video, so that even though somebody's like, oh, you just did 2 brand videos in a row, it's like they can't hate on it, because what are you mad about? You got what you wanted. You subscribed for travel videos, you subscribed for cinematics, for storytelling, for information, and I like to think that it's all in that video and more. Yeah,
sorry, the only reason I'm laughing is because I watched your video, and like it's an organic Lost Leblanc video. It's all about your experience in Thailand, and like I think it was about was it hostels or something. I can't remember the whole video.
Yeah, it was 3 tips to travel affordably. So hostels, couch surfing, and taking the long haul. So like night trains But you put Malibu in there so casually.
Yeah, how did that work?
Compared to us, who I really think we just we just held bottles and wore t-shirts, and we came up with some really great concepts, I thought, but like I just thought, after seeing yours, we're like, maybe we should have done more subtly advertising. But we're learning.
We're learning.
Fair,
Every day we're learning. So
yeah, that's the important thing. As long as you're learning. I mean, my old brand videos, I'm much less proud of them. And I actually had a really good conversation with a business partner of mine, and we were talking about how we've gotten to a point now where we personally believe that as long as the client comes to us with flexibility, we can make that video work.
Yeah,
we can make that client work. It doesn't matter if they're a train manufacturer or a alcohol. As long as like they're willing to give me the creative freedom, this video won't stick out like a sore thumb. If somebody comes in and they're like, we want this, we need this, and they think they know better, like usually it won't work out. And I actually generally will discard those brand deals, because my brand is not something that's about cashing in today. It's about the long term. But also, if you do something that's completely on brand, that is Lost Leblanc, and you're able to organically feed in the brand of the sponsor, then it's a win-win, because
your fans still enjoy the video, get the value from it, but the brand is also recognized. You're getting more views, and they're probably more liked and more likely to check it out. If you all of a sudden switch your brand and literally whore yourself out to this brand or whatever, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna feel good about that brand. So like, I know sometimes you have to, you know, work with with brands to just convince them that like, let's do it my way and be more creative, and you'll see how well it's gonna turn out.
Totally. Yeah. And that's like you said. I mean, the influencer is not like, they're not good at just how do I say this? Like, you can hire an actor to just repeat your script, and you know, that's how traditional media was.
Yeah.
But that's also why there was a much lower conversion rate. There was no real brand affinity. Like, people didn't know that actor. People didn't trust what that actor had to say. And that's where when brands come to you and say, hey, look, we like your content. We like your audience. We want you to share what's cool about our product with them. If they let you do it in your normal way, it's going to work out better, not just for myself. It's going to work out much better for the brand. So
100%.
Speaking
I
of,
think they're starting to realize that.
You're talking about the analytics here, like you're saying how in the past you wouldn't be able to quantify it, but do you think now, like with, you know, all our digital social media and all, being able to track all that stuff, has that, being able to, you know, look at their analytics and all that, do they see like the big difference between today's world and, you know, like the world of, you know, yesteryear?
So, like, are you talking about the comparison between influencer versus actor and TV media and radios? I mean, see, the thing is, like, I think that it's kind of hard to track for a lot of brand deals whether that video actually directly sold Malibu rum or whether it sold a train.
Swipe up.
Yeah. The only way that happens is like with directly consumable internet goods like Skillshare, so they can see, all right, he got X amount of swipe ups, he got this many subscribers. I have a few affiliate deals. One of my favorites is with Epidemic Sound. We can track that. We can see how much, because that's how I get paid. If I sign up this many people with Epidemic, that's how my income is decided. I get a fixed dollar amount per sign up. With some of these other brands that are more in-store products or services, it's harder to track. But I think what they can see that no ad or radio can give them is like the comments down below, right? If somebody says,
for sure, feedback.
"Oh, like awesome video! I'm actually gonna go like check this out, or I'm gonna go travel to this place after seeing this." You can see that people are physically like going out there and commenting. This is what they're actually gonna do next, or they're gonna take an action on that video. So, certain things it's easier to track, other things it's harder. But yeah, I mean, that's how traditional media was. You put an ad in the newspaper. It's kind of hard to see how many people really went and bought that thing unless you had a promo code.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. But I think, I mean, maybe you can't see the complete difference in the numbers between actors and now influencers, but all I listen to is Gary Vee and other entrepreneurs saying how much money companies are dumping into influencer marketing now. So it must be working, because it's actual people you're following because you like what they do. You believe in them, and now they're promoting products that they also believe in, because you don't promote stuff you don't really care about or whatever. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It seems to be just it's a nice harmony of the work. Like, allows us to make money, but you know, we're not. I keep using the word whoring ourselves out. We're not. Someone give me an adjective for this.
Selling out. Okay, that's the word. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have bleeped that one out. Sorry.
Let's take it all the way back to the beginning of, you know, Lost Leblanc and day one or whatever, or month one of you traveling and making videos. Like, tell us a story. I hear that you. Let him sip. I hear.
Tell us the notes.
Yeah.
What are the notes on there? With some Chilean wine. Yeah. What's the difference?
No. What was it like for you? I hear you use a GoPro.
Yeah.
And tell us a story about that.
What was it like for me? I mean, when I started, again, I'm going to kind of glaze over the hobby period, because that was, again, just for memory's sake. It wasn't really any real drive behind it. I just was really keen to record memories.
Yeah.
But when I decided that it would be a business and hopefully one day my income, that's when I really like changed the gear to making content that was strategically filmed with the title, the thumbnail being intentionally chosen, so that the content was something that would keep the retention rate up. And I don't know, like it was a challenging period because I wasn't making money. I was making $100, maybe $200 of ad revenue a month. and I was going door to door and just knocking on hostels saying, hey, like I make a travel video once a day. Do you want to be in today's video and tomorrow's video in exchange for 2 nights at your place? And usually they would say no. So you'd go to the next place, and they'd say no, and then you go to the next place. So sometimes you'd have to go to 10 doors before you finally got typically a Western hostel owner or manager, and they would get it.
Okay.
And so it was just a hustle. Like that's how I think most influencers do it. Even if they're not knocking on hostel doors, they're babysitting to make cash on the side. They're doing all sorts of little things that together make their dream possible.
And what were you doing, like on the side?
I was so when I was like at the very beginning, I was running somebody's email marketing campaign.
Okay.
So he was a guy I went to university with. He was 5 years older than me, and he was running a basically trying to get American ATM terminals to update. And in order for them to update, they had to join a different credit card processor. I won't get too into it.
Yeah, sure.
But essentially, I was the one who was running all the marketing campaigns with. Yeah, that was pretty boring. It wasn't what I wanted to do.
Fair.
I'd spend maybe 6 hours per week doing it. Not that much, but take 6 hours times $15 in Thailand. Your buying power is that much greater. So it made a big difference. And then add on the $100 to $200 in ad revenue. Add in the $50 little sponsored gigs you get. I think my first ever sponsored gig was with Daniel Wellington. In fact, it was. And they gave me a watch and no money. And that's pretty much how they pay everywhere.
Just one watch?
You still have the watch, though?
Yeah, I was stoked, dude. I was like,
You have it framed on your wall, the first watch.
I might still have it.
That's great.
Funny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, I respect the hustle, especially about going door to door and, not failing 10 times on the 11th time that you actually get taken in. They say, sure, because like back then, no one understood the value of having their hostel promoted. They didn't understand this thing, the value, like, oh, there are people on Instagram, who cares, or Facebook or YouTube. Yeah. But like, you knew there was value in it, and you kept on driving. You dropped the ego or the pride, and you just went for it, and you saved a lot of money, and you were able to just keep the dream alive because you're able to just put a bit more money in your pocket by saving those dollars. That's great.
How many times did you come close to quitting? Or were there ever any moments like that where you're like, it was so really hard?
No, I was pretty dead set on doing it. And I said, I'm going to give myself 2 years to be just break even, like where I'm basically just, grinding and hustling, knocking on hostel doors. And then after 6 months, I started making money. So I was like, all right, that wasn't necessary. I guess this is going to actually work better than I originally anticipated. I didn't think it would work as good as it worked out, like at present, but I thought that, hey, like there's money in this, and if there's travel channels, why can't I create my own and have it on YouTube? Why can't I be the voice for people that want to travel to Thailand and to the Philippines and to all these other places? And so I just started making videos, and I was like, you don't need a production team, you don't need a colorist and a sound dude and all that. You just need a camera and a good story and a lot of hard work, and you can do it all yourself.
And a good personality.
That helps. It does help. I'm still working on mine, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. How's his personality?
Oh yeah. By the way, we have
comment down below
the wonderful Katy in the audience. What the chick? If you want to find her on Instagram,
come in.
Yeah, come on. You should just come around. Don't knock over the cameras though.
Don't trip on a cable.
We got a special.
You can sit on your lap. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Well, it might not be advertiser friendly, but sure. Yes, this is Katy.
You have to speak into a mic, so.
Hola.
It's a different language. Oh.
That's perfect.
I'm just gonna cover the high on life.
That's perfect. She's put her own brand in
Have you ever been in a podcast?
No.
Okay.
It's my first time.
Katy's
welcome.
This is your second time in Canada, though, or third, fourth time?
I think it's like the fourth.
Okay, I don't know anything then.
Yeah.
You guys just got back from a really awesome trip up in the Yukon, actually, and I was quite jealous when I saw you guys just run up there, and you got to see the northern. What's that?
It's been one of my favorite trips.
She's seen the Northern Lights before I have, and I've lived in Canada my entire life twice.
Wow.
Twice in one trip.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I totally recommend you to go.
Next time, take me, Christian.
I will. Yeah. I'm sorry.
About his question, I think he has an amazing personality. And I used to watch his videos before I even met him.
Wow.
And I think,
Stop.
okay. And I think he wasn't doing a great job with that.
Yeah.
So the first thing I shared with him as a feedback was that he really had to work in his personality, because when you do this kind of content or work, your work can be replaced.
Yeah,
there can
right.
be always someone that does the job better than you. So the only
100%.
thing that can be replaced is your personality.
Yeah.
So that's why I recommended him to work more on that, because he's very funny and
Wow.
super friendly.
Dropping
that's
the
what he's showing.
wisdom and knowledge here. That's actually
Oh,
great.
that's
No,
awesome.
no,
That's
it's
good.
true though. Like even when I'm doing stories for High on Life, like I just, I put out the information or whatever, and my dad's the one that says to me, "Can you smile? Just all you need is a smile." I'm
Yeah.
you're right, I am happy, but I'm just so focused on like driving information home or trying to educate people or whatever. But like personality, right? Just remember to smile, and then I'm a happy person, and to put that out there to project that.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
smart.
the number one trick.
So you're his manager now? How does this work out? Like,
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Yeah, for sure.
this is great. I wish you had
I
an extra
think-
microphone in here.
I think the low point of my channel was actually when I got a brand new super expensive camera.
Yeah.
And it's the one I still use today, but I got caught up in the camera features.
Yeah.
And I got caught up in slow-mo, and I was just like constantly breaking away from the story because I freaking love slow-mo. And I was like, oh, this toaster's going to look awesome popping in slow-mo.
Oh, when the toast comes out in 120 frames a
Blender
second.
and everything was just in slow-mo. And it's like, you watch the videos like, what was this about? And it's like,
Yeah.
nobody watched my GoPro videos because they were cinematic. Nobody said, wow, like this was beautifully shot, because it was god awful. It was shaky.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, it was overexposed or underexposed. There was no color grading, but nobody ever hated on it. Occasionally the shake, but nobody ever hated on it that much. They subscribed because they clicked with something personality wise, or about the story of traveling and being a student or something like that. They found something to latch onto, but it wasn't cinematics. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make a cinematic based channel, because there's a small group of people that get away with it.
Yeah.
But like
Beautiful
she said, you're
definitions.
replaceable.
Yeah,
Nobody
for sure.
can replace Lost Leblanc, but anyone can replace that cinematic storyteller, because there's a ton of up and coming videographers, and there's more and more of them every single day. People are
That's so
learning to
funny.
edit at like 12 years old now. By the time they're in 20, they're going to be 10 times better than me at editing.
I am
And I don't want to get
watching-
into that arms race.
I am watching some 16-year-olds that are putting out like the top quality cinematic
Yeah.
stuff that I could never even dream of doing.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, what am I doing? But it's funny that you say that, because like I've been looking about, especially 2019, what I want to produce, what we want to produce as a group during this year. And I used to love the cinematic stuff. It was like so trendy and amazing. The helicopter, the legs out, the shots kicking the sand, everything. But now I've realized I watch these videos, and no offense, but they're pretty much all the same to me now. And I'm like, where's the personality? Where's the story to it? And I think it's going to come back around very quickly. It's just that storytelling is going to hit the forefront again. Who can tell the best story? Who's the most passionate? Who's making the biggest difference in the world? I think those are the big things that are going to come out of it, because I think cinematics is beautiful, and you should always include that in your videos. But if it takes away from the story, or there's no story at all, then it's not going to last long.
I swear to God, if I see another woman holding a man's hand and being like dragging him to like the waterfalls,
Yeah.
Well, I feel we're human beings, and we need
Yeah.
to relate to something. We need to
Yeah.
belong to a circle.
Yeah.
And that's through storytelling.
Yeah, 100%. You're
That's
right.
crazy.
I think if you find a good balance between the two, but put most of your effort in the storytelling, but have some good cinematics, I think that's where the value is.
There is a balance. I'm not saying cinematics are useless, because if they can be tied in with storytelling, that's, in my opinion, the best kind of content. But a lot of people kind of focus on one or the other. So that's where I've been really striving this year to find that happy medium, while expanding a team, and also having people edit for me and allowing them to have some creative control is really hard, because you've been working so hard.
It's 7 o'clock apparently.
sorry, everyone.
I thought that was like we got a new guest here in the podcast.
Thank you,
Bye,
Katy.
Thank you so much, Katy,
Yeah,
for joining us.
us.
Our first guest appearance. That's amazing.
Very nice.
Actually, so one of the questions I had for you is like, 3 months ago you came up with the video is I think I can't remember the title, but it's why I'm gonna stop travel vlogs, or the
Yes,
whole new
yeah.
you know the name of the video.
Yeah.
And it's just about, I'm not doing travel vlogs anymore. I'm doing vlogs, or I'm doing videos now that have storytelling in it. I want to tell a story. I have this new format, more dad jokes, of course, but also
Always.
But like, that totally resonated with me, because I was around the same time that I was thinking that, like, I don't know, like, it's great holding a camera and staying in villas and telling and showing people that you're living your best life, but like, to me that gets tiring. Like, I've
Yeah.
been traveling for
It's
a
really
while. We all
empty.
have. It's just like, and that was cool back in the day when it started, but like, that makes me, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to share what's in my heart, what's in my mind, and what I'm passionate about. And I think that's what people will connect with too. And that's what you've done with your audience. And I think it's really worked for you over the last 3 months, especially.
Yeah. What made you, want to move towards that direction for yourself?
Yeah. So I was like standard travel vlogging it. Typically you wake up, you show that you had breakfast or that you went off to do your next activity, and then it was very methodical, very repetitive. Even though you changed countries, the formula was the same.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah, and it worked. I mean, it was getting solid, consistent numbers, but it wasn't getting, for me, exciting numbers. I didn't see growth. I didn't see I didn't challenge myself. So I didn't feel like I was making the best content I could. I was just trying to keep up with consistency of posting, and that's kind of what kills innovation. So I decided to make a rather big change in my channel, at least from my standpoint, to go from posting hopefully 2 to 3 times a week. I decided, all right, every Saturday, once a week. Like, a lot of people at first are like, don't do this. Like, we want to see you 2-3 times a week. We want to see more content. We like your vlogs. Why are you changing it? And the second I changed it, I got excited about my channel in a different way. I got really motivated to create challenging content that every video was like, how are we going to do this one? How's this one going to work out? And I didn't know what the title would be, what the thumbnail would be, but I knew that like everything I did in that video was going to be like very, how do I put this, story driven. And I honestly, I do a lot of planning now around the thumbnail and the title, because as you guys know, it's so important. Yeah. So a lot of things about money do well with my channel. So whether it's like billionaire for a week in Dubai, or whether it's living on $100 in Bali, like people are really curious about those different sides of life, whether it's budget travel or luxury travel. And so I just shifted my channel's focus, and I changed the formula, and the videos went from, I don't know, maybe averaging 50K views to now they typically get like 100K views in the first week to 10 days. And for me, it's like that used to be like one of my top videos if it hit 100K in its lifetime. So I've done like, I think 20 or 20, maybe 25 videos in a row now that are like over that 6-figure. And some of them are, one of them's at 1 million, one of them's at 800. So like they're really crushing it. And the best part of it all is I'm making content I like.
Yeah. That's the best. Yeah.
That is the best part. So yeah, it's been a much needed change, and I think that it's a realization I made that a lot of vloggers also have. They're probably tired of vlogs, and I think a lot of people will be shifting into more story driven content very soon. But I wanted to be ahead of the trend, and I knew it was the right move for me. And it's not to say you can't do story driven vlogs, but they're always limited if you do kind of like the monotonous, here's my morning, here's my lunch, here's my dinner, here's the activity I did after dinner, and then
here's my backflip.
Yeah. I think you're so right with that. And I think because like there's so many people putting out content now on the internet, and travel is still a huge trend out there. So like, how can you be above the rest? You provide value to people. You provide either emotional value to them, or you teach them something. Like education, I find, is the biggest thing. I don't even watch Netflix anymore. I'm on YouTube nerding out over how to edit something, or you know, using my camera or the next piece of equipment that I want to look into. It's just like, so like Peter McKinnon's getting all my views now. Everyone that's trying to provide me value. So I'm just like, why wouldn't we want to do the same thing? Whether through storytelling or like a how-to, or just teaching people stuff.
Right. And I think that's where we're at right now as a channel. Like we just had our identity meeting just a few days ago, and as a team, we're all trying to figure out like, you know, where is our channel headed in terms of the kind of content that we want to make.
I feel that. I think that whenever somebody asks me like, oh, I want to get into YouTube, what should I do? Like, I kind of use Peter as an example of what I believe to be a winning formula, because he found a niche that he was good at. He was good at photography. He also strives to make personality driven content, so it's not like he's replaceable because somebody else made another video about the new iPhone or how to, you know, use low aperture lenses. He's done it, but he does it in a way that nobody else will do. Right. And I think that's what makes him indispensable, and why he's killed it. He's grown to like 3 million now from being maybe 500,000 a year ago, or maybe even less. Like he's just growing at such an exponential rate. And
what's awesome is he's Canadian too.
Canada kills, dude. Like we have so many travel creators and influencers. It's pretty wild. Maybe it's the extra cold. Like we just spend a little bit more time
for sure
inside than the Americans. I don't know what it is, but there's a disproportionate amount of Canadians involved in social media.
Who are the other Canadians that we know that are killing it right now?
Well, there's Sam Calder.
He's Canadian?
Calder's from Toronto.
What? I didn't know
Peter
that.
McKinnon,
What?
There's Peter McKinnon. There's Matty Hapoja, who's always hanging out with Peter. It's really cool dude.
Have you met Peter or Matty?
Others. I'm blanking now.
Have you met Peter or Matty?
Yeah. So Maddie actually came out to Vancouver to do a little like cinematic interview with me a good year and a half ago. This is before Maddie was even like making it as a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And he was just like really humble and nice, and he's still the same guy. I met him like at the last Buffer Festival, I believe, and he was just such a genuine, down to earth person. And
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I kind of know them through watching their videos they've done together or separately, because I watch both their stuff, and they provide, not only do they have these amazing, you know, personalities and so warm because they're Canadian, and provide really good value.
right.
But I feel like we could just pick up the phone and email them and say, we're coming to Toronto, you want to meet up and make a video, and they'd be like, yeah, let's do
Maddie's here in like 3 days or something.
Oh, really?
5 days.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
Hook us up.
guys.
Yeah.
No, we'll
That's
just-
He
we'll
reached
just
out. He's
message
like, oh, I
him.
want
Yeah,
to meet
we'll
up.
message
him.
Just
Yeah,
here
we'll
with his
just
family. So
Awesome.
Actually, how long are you here for?
I don't know. I'm gonna fly out to go to I think Mexico or Panama.
Por qué no?
Yeah, I want to do something hot because I was just in the Yukon. I need to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that for
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny? So you are like in all your videos, you say you're Canadian, you're a proud Canadian. I know that, but you've spent I don't know how many years living out of the country, Philippines, Thailand, Bali. I don't know how much time you spent coming back to Canada, but like you've totally made it just living out there in Southeast Asia. Then that's incredible, because I know a lot of people have to go back and touch ground and recharge and make money and edit, but you've found a way to do it on the road incredibly. And so I think that's amazing. But like, how did that come about? How did you first find your strides in that? And you have plans to stay in Bali for a long time, or move your ship back to Canada, or what's the plan with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty mobile. I mean, the more I come home, the more I see that, you know, it's not the same old high school friend group anymore.
Yeah.
People are busy. Like, you come back and like, yeah, everyone's cool and all, but there's just not as much holding me here anymore. And I think that I feel that way about most places. I've become pretty nomadic, and my lifestyle has allowed me to travel wherever I want. I love Bali. It's low cost of living.
Yeah.
As you know, it's an extremely fun place with generally good weather. And like for me, I do a lot of blue ass water content. I want to be centrally located in Southeast Asia.
Blue ass water content
So
presets. on
that
sale.
is the kingdom for me. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
Bali,
yeah.
and I get to meet so many people.
Living in Canggu, I love
Yeah.
that place. I just no other place have I been actually so productive, so happy, and the networking capabilities we had there was amazing.
Yeah,
and your
but if I
pad's
had
cool.
to move, I would. I mean, like, if I got bored of it, I'd go to Bangkok, or I'd move to another different island. Like, I'm pretty, because of my job, this was like from a young age. I was probably 7 years old, and I saw a photo of blue ass water or something, and I was like, I want to be able to be there when I want to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
And having a job 9 to 5 doesn't let you do that. Doesn't
Or
give
being
you
in Vancouver
the
doesn't let you
freedom
do
to
that.
be where you want to be. You're stuck there to that physical location. So I was cool with working long hours. I just wanted to be able to work them where I wanted to, when I wanted to.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
so that's where this job has really opened up that door. And I always knew I would have my own business. I never thought it'd be revolving around videography, photography, because I hadn't picked up a camera till it was a GoPro 4 years ago. But I saw it as a means to an end, which was letting me be mobile, being flexible to travel the world and see new things. And it's been the biggest blessing you could ever ask for. I love my job.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that like the more I travel, the more I see that I have so many places I could call home if I wanted to.
Any options, you know, coming up? Or
I love Bangkok. Like, really, I
you have
love
a
it.
connection with Thailand for sure.
Yeah, it's super, again, affordable. It's good food. It's bad traffic, but you have different ways to get around, and it's all cheap. And I just love it. Like, there's such a life to the city. There's a big buzz, and so I could see myself doing that at some point.
Yeah, I love how you just said 4 years ago you picked up the GoPro, and that's how long it takes to go through university or college.
Yeah.
And you are where you are now.
Yeah.
But when you go to college, where are you? Nowhere. You're in ground zero. You just have a piece of paper in your hand and a bit more knowledge.
Yeah, you're making barely
Think
enough
about that,
income
really,
to get
though. It's
by.
incredible.
That's crazy.
To live in a city like Vancouver, like you get at a university, a top university. Like, I went to Sauder, UBC, and like I graduated. I got my degree in accounting, and I got one of the most sought after positions. There was like, I think they hired maybe I can't remember. There's thousands of people that apply for these jobs. They take 2 or 3% across all of the accounting firms. I got an offer at a few of the firms. I chose Ernst & Young, and I got there and I was like, why are people fighting over this?
Yeah.
You're working long hours. You get paid barely enough to stay in the city. Like, you can get a place and live the most modest lifestyle where, you know, maybe once or twice a month you can go for a nice dinner. But I was like, this just doesn't seem like the right path for me. Like, I looked up and down the ladder of the corporate world, and I was like, none of these people have a life I want. So it's like, time to get out of here and find my own.
Christian, the accountant vlogger.
Yeah, maybe we'll try that. We'll see how that goes. But I always tell people, it's kind of funny to think of like making accounting videos, but there's niches for everything on YouTube.
True.
You can make videos about parameciums. I don't know what that is, but like
whatever,
the microscopic things, and like there's gonna be like a good couple thousand people around the world that are down to hear about that stuff. And if you can be the voice of that subject, you can monetize it.
100%.
Damn.
Yeah, like YouTube is expanding so fast, and social media in whole, and you can take any niche or any hobby or anything you like, as weird as it is, and there'll be someone that probably shares it and will want to be in it. And if you have a niche that someone likes and you have a personality, you can make it. 100%.
I heard a guy contacted me a good year ago now, and he basically grew plants inside using like special lights. Like, it sounds like pot, but I know he wasn't a drug dealer. He was making like, it was like home brewing or something super niche, like a very tiny niche that only a few thousand people would be interested in North America. But he was able to be, again, the voice of that subject on YouTube. He had 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers, but he had a really high conversion rate on selling them his courses. And so because there was no other real resource to find information on that, he was able to capture like insanely high return on subscriber. So he was able to make like tens of thousands of dollars with what we would consider to be a very modest subscriber count. So it's less important how big your subscriber count is. It's more important about like how dedicated are they to your channel. And for them, like, they were just crushing it on a per subscriber basis.
Well, let me ask this. How dedicated are your subscribers, fans, followers?
Good question. I would say I am fortunate to have on the above average scale.
Yeah.
But like, they all convert in different ways. Because like some people subscribe to me for film and photography information. For me, I believe that audience is not my largest audience. I think my largest audience is the film is the travel side. But I do think they are the highest return on investment. They make me the most money, whether it be selling my how to edit course, whether it be selling the swipe ups on Skillshare. Anything that I do, like, the brands want to rework with me because they're actually seeing conversions. And so they have, in the long run, made me the most income. And I enjoy making that content because I believe it's something I've become good with over the past years of learning how to edit, building my own videos. And so that's something I like to cater to. Even though they might be 20 to 25% of my audience, I still make videos for them every month. My travel side, if you're making videos for backpackers who are on a budget, you might have a large sum of them, but they might not be as down to shell out money because they're broke backpackers. I also, at some points, have had as high as 20% of my viewership coming from the Philippines.
Right.
Always after a trip to the Philippines, there's a huge spike in views, and they're awesome. They're a huge community of really enthusiastic video watchers on YouTube.
Nice.
Like, people that go to the Philippines just see a huge spike, and they're great, but there's no real monetization incentive from that because unless you build the right product for them, they're not like CPM. The cost, the amount of money you make per 1,000 views on YouTube is not very high for a Filipino person versus a Canadian or a Norwegian or an American. And so there's not huge incentives to traveling to the Philippines, even though you see a huge spike in views. So again, that's the theory of like, it's more important about who's watching than the amount of people that are watching.
Right.
If you're trying to make this a monetization business, or
Very
you're
true.
trying to monetize your business.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember too for a lot of people is when you starting a channel or doing something that you're passionate about, it's actually almost better to not choose a niche of travel or luxury lifestyle. Choose something that's actually very like honed down, like it is a niche.
Especially
topic.
when you're starting.
Exactly, because like you never know who's going to be there. And you said the guy's conversion rate was so high because he was the sole voice for this topic for what he was doing, right? So that makes so much sense. If you like, obviously we all love travel and that's what we've gotten behind, but I think we're all breaking into our own different elements or different kind of like sub niches of you're doing storytelling and a lot of people are doing how-to stuff, but now we're breaking into, well, personally, what do we really want to do and tell us a story? What can we do that no one else has? And we want to tell our own story and offer our own like value and advice. So that's like kind of how we break down just from the travel to make it more personal, I guess, because we're in a pretty broad category right now in social media because travel is all over the place, but it's just how to redefine yourself and get into something more, I guess. I can keep on using the word niche, but niche.
And in order to get into it, you have to make a lot of content about that because the first time you make a video about, in my case, videography, I didn't start off making those videos because why would anyone want to hear what I had to say? I filmed with a GoPro, and they were
Yeah.
shaky videos. But eventually, as I got better and made more videos about it, people started to have credibility. Like, they gave me credibility for that subject.
And they gained your
because
trust.
My work
Yeah.
showed that I knew what I was talking about. And with time, they saw that, okay, he actually delivers information about videography. So I'm now going to subscribe, because
Yeah.
I've seen 2 of his videos over the past month, and they're pretty good. Like, I found them informational, but I think he'll release more of them. If you don't release like frequency on that subject, you may have credibility, but nobody's gonna like subscribe for it, because you're not a source of that information.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that just watches one video and subscribes right away. I have to
Yeah.
watch like 5 to 10 before I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give them that click.
Yeah.
And they ask for it all the
Agreed.
time, but I don't do it. I just
Yeah.
I follow a very select group of people, but it's because they
Likewise.
really provide. I follow you, by the way.
Thank you.
Same,
Yeah.
same, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll consider doing the same.
You know,
10. I'll give you $20.
let's talk about like some of your biggest audiences. You were saying that Philippines is one of the biggest audiences for you. I'm Filipino, by the way.
Yes, I'm aware.
My dad loves your videos. He was asking me, "Oh, when are you going to interview Lost Leblanc?"
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so great.
We should have got him in here.
Yeah, I see the next surprise guest.
Yeah. Popping down from the trap
That's
door.
right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So what was it like? Going to the Philippines, gaining that fan base and all that.
Yeah, it was great. It was like I think it was one of the first little boosts of confidence that I got, because it was right when I had quit my job at the accounting firm to make this a full-time go, and I was like, all right, focusing on growth and building a brand and building authority in subjects. And it was the first time that I saw what I considered to be like a real growth spurt.
Yeah.
I went from growing maybe 100 a day to growing like 1,000 a day subscribers. And
Right.
at that time, it was probably 50 to 70% of them were Filipinos. Like, it definitely helped me, because like it was not just Filipinos that were tuning in and giving me that growth, but a lot of them came in. And so today, I mean, my audience is, if I looked at my views over the last 30 days, they're not even in my top 5. They're maybe 7%, maybe even a little bit lower. So they're very much location dependent views. If I'm in the
Right.
Philippines, they tune back in. So it's great to
Right.
have them. But they're not as much interested in travel, more interested in the Philippines. So they're very
For sure.
national, very
They're
patriotic,
proud of the
very proud.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly like my dad. He's here in Canada. We've been here in Canada for over 5 years now, but he's always watching content about the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my top audience is the US, and I
Okay.
want to keep it that way. I really love the American viewership. It's what's given me a lot of opportunities with brand work. They, of course, just have more dispensable income for, going to travel, to buy products. They're just they're a great audience to have, and I can relate to them because I'm a North American.
Yeah.
When I meet them on the road, there's people that often become my friends. I mean, I become friends with anyone that I meet on the road that approaches me, but I think that there's naturally a closer click with certain people from different places, and we just totally see eye to eye and just get
For
along.
sure. Right. And now you're living in Bali. Are you the king of Bali?
No, I'm not the king of Bali.
Yes.
I love
Yet.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
We'll get you there.
No, but it is great. I mean, when I'm in Bali, I meet a lot of people. I anytime I go out for a drink, like especially when people have been drinking, they just come up and say hi.
Of course.
So I meet a lot of people, and it's very rewarding because I think every single day I go out in Bali, I hear at least a few people say, I'm here because of your videos. And so if, I only put things in my videos when I think they're worth seeing. And if I don't think they're worth seeing, then I won't hype it up. It's not going to be told as like, this is a top 5 of somewhere. It's like, I only talk about the places really highly when I love them. And so if somebody comes and travels to the place that I had one of my best times at, it feels good to know that I was able to share that with them. And it's very rare that I have somebody say, oh, I didn't really care for that recommendation. And it's happened a couple times when you meet hundreds of people. Eventually you will have people that didn't have the best experience. And I love hearing why. I mean, usually it's just like they got scammed or somebody got hurt or something. It's like, okay, like that's travel. Things go
That's your
things
fault.
go wrong.
That's your fault. You got scammed, buddy.
Places change. Places get
exactly.
really busy. And again,
Yeah.
it's like that's kind of the negative part of my videos. Is like if I share something really dope, like sometimes hundreds of thousands of people will go there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a bit too much, but thousands of people will go there in a given year.
Yeah.
Like some of the Philippines videos I've had have gone to reach 12 million in one video.
Wow.
And like, of course, there's going to be a huge tourism shift when that kind of video occurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to shut down Palawan for a bit.
Yeah.
to rebuild it or get it back to healthy conditions or
Yeah.
whatever.
What are you going to do? They'll put a disclaimer on each video being
If
like,
you-
Do not
the
go
things
here.
you've seen in the video may have not happened or can't happen in the future.
Or if you watched Lost Leblanc's video, please do not enter.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, sometimes people are like, oh, I watched the videos and there was like not that many people there. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, sometimes places just change.
Yeah.
They get a lot busier.
sure.
So
Well, exactly. I mean, the bottom line is do your research before you go somewhere. And like, I mean, I can see places trending. People going to Iceland all the time now. People are going to like Bali is not completely overrun, but there's areas that
Yeah.
I knew were not that well known or visited now are just I
Yeah, it's
see
crazy
everywhere.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost. I feel like it's almost a race now to discover or go do a video and explore the next place, but then I also feel like I don't want to share this place as much because I don't want it to become, but I feel like that's just the natural progression of how social media is going to work and affect the world, which is kind of sad, but
Yeah.
I don't know, we've got our
Bittersweet.
jobs to do, right?
Yeah.
And so there are places that I'll keep quiet and like share like this is just a special place, but like you're making a video about it and I want people to experience it because it just brought so much awe and wonder into my life, and I want to share that, but I never wish it to be overrun. But you know what? If I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, right?
For sure.
yeah, I'm not as noble, I suppose.
I'm just saying that shit,
I'll share everything I see. I'll tell you where it is.
that's
Except
funny.
one trip. There was one trip where I was traveling with a bunch of locals from Hawaii, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, don't say where this is."
Yeah.
Oh, they'll curse you. They'll
And I
put a
was-
curse on you.
Locals only.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't tell you. I'm sorry. They have a gun to my head.
They
over
bird
there.
boxed you in.
Yeah, it felt so wrong, but I didn't share where we went on that trip.
That's okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about like how you have a wonderful girlfriend here.
Uh-huh.
That's also a
She is.
powerhouse in the travel. Oh crap! All right, technical difficulty.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thing over here.
Oh boy,
Josh, sing us a song.
sing us a song. All right.
I can hear you.
I can't. You can't. Okay. Well.
And we're back.
Oh, good. I didn't have to sing.
We live, baby.
There we go.
Yeah, we're good.
There we go. Yeah.
Gucci.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. You're a handsome man.
Thank you, Josh. I was thinking the
That's
same
it.
about you.
That's all I wanted to say.
That's all I wanted to say.
And that's all the time we have today. You're handsome, and then we're done.
Yeah. And you have a wonderful girlfriend here who's also a powerhouse in the travel industry, content creator as well. We had a bunch of questions about, what it's like to travel with someone who is as amazing as you are in terms of creation.
It's full of pros and cons. It's primarily
Ooh.
pros.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's first of all, I mean, when you put someone on camera, a lot of the time it's not a natural instinct to be comfortable on camera. If you watch my old videos, you'll see that. I used to be like so stiff, and like she said, my personality was like a lot more dulled out back in the day because like I wasn't particularly comfortable on camera, and I think that was a learned skill that came over many videos and a lot of time. So having somebody like her that is always in front of the camera, it's like, okay, I could just put the camera on her and she shines, and like she makes it fun, and she's an extra personality. And people, more personalities in a video, if they get along and they're like jiving together, is always going to be better than one.
Right.
So that's an awesome part. Another awesome part is she gets the camera. She's gotten a lot better over the past year that we've been dating. She used to be very like, just point and shoot, and that was fine for her channel. And now she's shooting with a 5D, and she's learned how to shoot manual.
Amazing, yeah.
And now she's
Nice.
an amazing videographer that helps me get shots that I couldn't have gotten if I was alone.
Damn,
and
that's right.
it's super helpful. She's learned to edit. She's learned all the above, and like she doesn't work for me as an editor ever, but every now and then like she can give her opinion on like, oh, does she think this looks good, or just, and she's like very like honest with it. So it's helpful to have that like very very like raw and like real opinion when something is just not good.
An outside
And-
perspective.
Yeah.
But someone who understands
Another
it.
set
It's
of eyes
great.
that are actually like skilled eyes. She's gotten really good.
Yeah.
So that's great. What else is really great? Like obviously just like
That's-
company. So
Oh,
like
company.
whenever you're on the road, like I think that in a normal situation, like you can go on vacation with somebody, but then they got to go back to their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So when you can be on the road with somebody that also makes their money on the road, and they can theoretically be there as long as they need to be, and that person's your best friend, and that person's
Uh-huh.
amazing, and it's like it's the win-win of all. Now let's talk about the negatives.
Well, you guys are a power couple. Like I actually think power couple, like these two
Yeah.
amazing influencers, people that both were own hustling in their own realm, and then found each other. And like now, it's just like wow, you guys can create some amazing stuff together.
Yeah, it's like It's probably 85% win.
Yeah.
15%. Let's bring it up.
Tell me about that 15%.
Yeah, let me tell you about it.
It's up to you.
Well, first of all, just
I was just like,
I got a bone to pick.
that's some law.
No,
That's so good.
the negative is that now you've got two people's jobs on the road.
Yeah.
So on days where I'm tired and I'm like, maybe there's days where I just don't really feel like picking up the camera. Maybe like something didn't go right. Maybe someone we met on the road put us in a bad mood, or maybe we're just not getting along that day. Like now we have 2 videos we're trying to film instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be stressful. My job is already, I think, like it's infinite amounts of work. So I can always be working on something. There's never been a day in the past 3 years that I've been like, I should take today off because there's a million things I need to be working on right now. But when there's now her needing help on something, it's like, okay, I've got this extra thing in my way of completing that endless list of goals and tasks. So like it can be a little bit stressful sometimes when she's got her camera running, I've got my camera running. I want her to be part of my video, but she also wants me to be part of her video, but we can't film simultaneously. Otherwise, we're just this annoying vlog couple where you see her in the background holding her camera up and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
I'd love
it's
to
like,
see you guys in public filming together. It'd be great.
I mean, sometimes we look pretty obnoxious. I think we're both going at it, but we try to at least isolate that from the video.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I don't think it's a good look. I've done it before. I've traveled with other vloggers, and I kind of stopped doing it because it just became a shout out fest. Like,
Yeah.
yo, like, and they try to make their little 5 seconds of fame in each video, and you have to go do the same in theirs, and it just wasn't authentic travel. That's why I don't really travel with other YouTubers.
We know
Instagrammers
someone like
are fine.
that. Yeah, we know someone with the shout out addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a few people like that too. And it's just not authentic travel. Like nobody's gonna watch that who loves travel or who aspires to be on the road and think, oh, this reminds me of when me and my friends went and traveled. There's nothing relatable about it.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to work to sometimes isolate each other or like isolate from each other during the videos, because if we have too much of that going on, again, we lose that fun feel of like being on the road.
100%.
What else is? I mean, it just comes down to 2 people with huge workloads.
Yeah, but you guys are both in different parts of the world a lot of the time. Like she goes back to Peru a whole bunch. I don't know where you guys have been all over the place. I watch you guys' stories, so I know where you're at all times. But yeah,
I mean, he followed me the other day to church.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
That's so funny. He told me that too. Weird. We're watching. But like, I mean, at times, you're together, you're making videos, but there's also a lot of the time during the year that you're doing a long distance thing, if you want to call it that. So like, you're very together, you're working together, and all of a sudden you're separated. So you also have to deal with the long distance thing for what, months at a time or weeks at a time, I guess.
The longest we've done, I think, is a couple months, and that was pretty challenging. I mean, I'd say long distance is not a bad thing, but when it gets too long, it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
and like I think a week is kind of refreshing almost. Like you got that alone time. I find I get way more work done. No offense. I find that I sleep less hours and I feel more energized by that little sleep. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But like I just feel more productive. But of course, like after a week, it's like that's your best friends. Like you want to catch up, you want to like hang out, you want to watch a movie or whatever. And so that's where it's like, it's such an awesome period to see them a week later, because you're like, everything feels fresh and new again.
I get that.
After a month though, like sometimes you have that breakdown of communication and like people are more easy to get agitated with one another. Long distance for the most part is not a very good thing for a relationship, but short-term distance, maybe we'll make that a word.
And I completely agree with that,
better.
because like, you'd think that being apart from each other would not be a good thing, but you get to recharge. Your heart gets to recharge. Everything. You're like even any quarrels, where they all go away. And I used to work a month away at a time, and I had a girlfriend, and man, like it was a bit too long, because by the 3rd to 4th week, there was getting into it. Like she's like, I don't want you to go away again. Like I have to. Yeah. But like when we came back, the fire was so strong for that month I was back. It was incredible. But like, so like
it's like anything in life. 5-star hotels get boring when you do them 10 days in a row.
So go sleep in a hammock.
Holy.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do them all the time.
I'm actually surprised that somebody would date you, Justice.
No, they didn't. I just made that story up.
All right.
It's a good story. Thanks for adding that.
You believe me? That's great.
And that's really part of the other 15%. Is like the negative is really just that we're also together 24/7, because our lives are on the road. So it's not like, oh, we're traveling through the Philippines. You go to Vietnam today. We'll see you later. It's like we're either apart entirely or we're together entirely. And there's like, unless we're like in Bali and she goes to do even then we're pretty much together entirely.
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
So it's like 24/7. You're bound to have the annoying little bickers and arguments when you're just overexposed to somebody.
Yeah.
And so that's where, you know, it's just an odd way to have a relationship. I'd say
it's
everyone else has 9 to 5s. Everyone else has their home set up in one place, so they've got their other friend group that they go hang out with. But for us, it's like if we have friends, we go together.
Yeah.
Right.
We go to the gym, we go together usually.
That's a good point, actually. The 9 to 5, like white picket fence, dog and kids, like that story's been written a billion times in history. But like this relationship that you're living now, no one's really done that before. There's no kind of like no one knows the pros and cons of it. So you're gonna have to just kind of tread new ground here and walk it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the course on how to have a successful, relationship.
I'll give you a promo code. Yeah.
Swipe up for those trains and promo codes.
Pre-order.
With that being said, we actually asked some of our fans earlier if they would like to ask you some questions.
Oh, is this from Instagram?
Yeah, this is from Instagram.
Okay, awesome.
So we got 5 questions here. This is on your phone too, Justice.
Is it
okay? I'll check it out.
Is it at High on Life on Instagram?
Yeah, it is.
At High on Life, yeah. That's
Follow.
right. So we got 5 questions here from 5 lucky fans. You want to take the first one, Justice?
From at Sam Thayer 22.
I'm curious.
What did your parents think about your job when you first started YouTube? Great question, Sam.
Oh
That's
my God,
a great
you're
question.
Do drugs.
That is a very good question, because I think most people will probably have to deal with the same thing. I think it's gotten a little bit easier nowadays, but like I had a good job that, and I'll be honest, like my parents, they didn't pay for me to stay at UBC. I had to cover all my own expenses, but I was in a very fortunate position where they actually paid for my tuition. So they had invested thousands of dollars for me to go to business school. I was one of the first in my family to go through business school and to be at the end of it, and then to get a really prestigious job that, you know, had you stuck around would eventually yield good return, good incomes.
Yeah.
They were like, what are you doing? When I started talking about the idea of going back to Thailand, they're like, this is your backpacker phase. You were supposed to be done with that. Like,
total
you can't
contrast.
throw this away.
That's
Like,
total
crazy. Did you feel like a lot of pressure to like stay there, or, like to stay in, accounting?
No, because I knew I was going to quit. It was a matter of, do I quit and get another job downtown doing something that I think is more in tune with who I am, or do I quit and just freaking send it?
Right.
So I sent it.
So how long did your parents not talk to you?
No, they talked to me. My dad, if I brought it up with my dad, he was the most obviously upset. No one ever yelled at me. They're not that kind of family, but he was very passively disappointed. He didn't want to talk about it.
What about now?
No, now they're super proud. My dad, I think, is my number one fan. He watches every video. And he's
of course.
He's like, oh, you better go check your video from a week ago. So-and-so left a bad comment. And I was like, it's okay, Dad.
It's funny because they don't fully understand how it works, but they're right in the middle of it, and they're so passionate about it. That's great.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. This is from at Callum44.
I just want to add one thing to that, though.
Go ahead, yeah.
I think that the parents kind of came around to loving it when they saw that it was a real job. And that actually wasn't right when I made money, but rather when they saw that I was working and hustling.
And you're flourishing, essentially.
12 hours a day just to get a daily video out. They're like, all right, well, if he's going to work this hard at it. And it's not they were surprised to see that, because I worked pretty hard my whole life in whatever I did. But it's like they saw that this was not just some I want to go back to Thailand to stay in hostels and party. They're like, okay, he's running his own travel channel with very small numbers, but you got to start somewhere. And they got that. And so I think that when they saw the amount of work that went into it, they started to understand it. When they saw brands were actually getting interested in what I was doing, they understood it even more. And now that they see that I'm making the income that I make with something that I love, they're so happy for me. So it's I think for most people that are wondering, do I do this crazy passion because my parents don't love it right now? If you put your all your heart into it, I think it'll be hard for your parents not to eventually support it.
Very true.
There will be some parents that they won't support it until they see money.
Yeah, but it's unfair.
And that's kind of fair, because your parents don't want to take care of you when you're 30.
100%. But it's really weird because parents don't understand this whole influencer economy, this thing that's going on. It's more prominent now than it was when you started, so it's better to explain how it works. But back then, it's just your parents almost like see kids as a form of status, telling their grandparents, their aunties, their friends that Christian's doing accounting. This is great, and everyone's like, they love that. My grandmother loved that I was in the Coast Guard because I was gonna have a pension. My parents' friends loved the word pension so much they were proud of me. And then when they heard I was doing a high on life, like, what the? He's on drugs? What high on like, what's going on?
Real 180. Wow.
It took a while.
No pension here.
It took a while to
Just
explain
a
why
horrible hangover.
I quit, but then they get it now. Everyone gets it.
Yeah,
because they see views and they see money, and that's all it takes, right? They have to see the numbers.
Yeah. And so I get it.
Yeah.
I get where they're coming from a point of like just being so oblivious to what's out there.
Yeah.
I understand why, because actually I had somebody that I went to high school with, and this is before I picked up the GoPro. She went on to be one of the biggest internet personalities for young girls, kind of like a bit like Katy's got a very similar style of video to what she does, but she was the US equivalent. I mean, when she got famous, she moved to California.
Yeah.
And so I remember back in the day, I just finished university, or I was in my second year of university actually, and I was like, how is she doing this? Like, where is she making her money? And then I start hearing through word of mouth that she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I was like, how? She's making YouTube videos. It's a bunch of little girls watching her stuff. And so like I was so what my parents and my grandparents and my family friends and everyone would have thought I was doing.
Yeah.
They would have been feeling the same way. They're like, how's he making money?
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
crazy.
it's just, when you get eyeballs, I mean, think of like the billboard that sits across the street, like people pay to be seen. And so when you have eyes on your channel, it's the same.
100%. Yeah, you don't know, but those views will turn into something. Revenue. Anyways, question number 2.
Question number 2 from @Callum44. Which are some of your favorite YouTubers, both for learning and for entertainment value?
Okay.
High and light to both, obviously.
Thank you for answering the question for me. Next question.
I'm fucking kidding. Go ahead.
I think so. I used
the one F-bomb. Are you going to use yours?
We'll see. I'll keep in the reserve.
Please.
Yeah, we'll see. So great question, Callum at Callum44. I actually just did a video recently where I talked about that for the first time, because typically my videos recently, the only downside is that I think I focus so much on travel and information that I sometimes stay outside of the personal stuff. So I just posted a 44-minute video where I talked all personal. So that was kind of interesting. People who are real fans liked it. I think that my favorite YouTuber is PewDiePie. So
oh no way.
Yeah, we fight in the
meme
T-Series
review.
I watch him a bit, but
I love his stuff.
I don't know.
Meme review.
My favorite YouTuber.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He posts once a day for
8
like
million.
7 years. I don't know how long he's been doing it. He's been crushing.
Yeah.
And for me, YouTube is not a place to come for travel content, because like that's my life. I'm not gonna just go sit through a bunch more drone shots. Like I've got enough in my life. I come to be entertained and to be there to have an editing break. So after spending 3 hours just crunching through Final Cut, I want to have a laugh. And so I watch PewDiePie, and for me, it's just like absolute garbage, mindless content, and I just have a good laugh. It's such a subculture of like memes.
Of course.
Okay, that's important actually, just to be able to enjoy yourself and zone out for once in a while, right?
Yeah.
People do Netflix, but like that works too for like PewDiePie.
I was going to give you another high five because you're on Final Cut.
Are you on Final Cut too?
Yeah, dude. It's the best software out there.
Oh God, I'm having problems with Adobe. I think I'm going to switch over.
Dude, it's a movement. People used to bash Final Cut. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I've been there since the beginning, because I've not been editing that long. But it's. I think I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of pro level editors that used to just snob at it, saying, "Oh, I get it now. Like it's actually like a real
paradigm
contender."
shift.
Well, when you made the switch, I've been watching more tutorials on editing and whatever. I just see Final Cuts like creeping in all over the place. I'm like, maybe there is some merit to it, so I should probably.
It's a solid software. Yeah. But PewDiePie for entertainment. I like Willeni. Do you know who that is? He's kind of like a commentary channel. He just like basically reacts to stupid videos on the internet, or like, I don't know. He's from the UK. He's got the super thick accent, and I just think he's hilarious. Again, mindless entertainment. I love Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah. Same.
The guy just drops knowledge bombs, and he's the most well-spoken man I've ever seen in my life.
From Canada too. From Canada.
He's basically an influencer now. I mean, he's got a way bigger subscriber count or follower count or anything that you'll take. He's just massive.
That's awesome.
And I love hearing him talk. I love podcasts. I just recently got into, like, I'd say within the past couple months, like I started watching through Joe Rogan, because like I love hearing a different way of thinking, a different way of life, hearing about crazy stories from Somali pirates to somebody getting attacked by a shark, whatever it is. Like, that hasn't happened to me yet. I hope it doesn't, but I want to hear what it was like. So I like that when I'm editing and I'm like color grading and I don't have to rely on my hearing, I can do those two things at once. And this is why podcasts are just so awesome.
Yeah.
So hope you guys are doing something else while watching this, or if we have your full attention, hello.
Look
at how handsome he is.
Yeah. All right. Third question. From the DJ Booth Bandit. At DJ Booth Bandit.
What are who I think it is?
Yeah, you know who it is.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
What are 3 places you have yet to travel to, which you want to go to the most?
Okay, that's a good question. I think number 1 is I really want to do like a safari in Africa. So for me, I don't know if that means I go to like, I think like South Africa is a pretty cool spot because you can go to like Cape Town, which looks like a freaking beautiful city. And then I think like, I don't know where, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about Africa, but I know you can do safaris there. So,
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. And then or Kenya. So I'm going to just kind of say like an African trip. I want to have that experience. Number 2, I would love to see Brazil. I don't know why, but like I know it's not that safe. I know that it's a bit of a risk going there with all my expensive camera gear on my back. But I would love to go. It just seems really beautiful and diverse and vibrant. So I would love to make that happen. And then 3rd is I want to go back to Japan really badly. I went there in the GoPro days, but the trip didn't really count because it was actually before this was a job. It was a hobby. I was traveling for 4 months on exchange, 4 months of travel. And during those final 4 months, this was my last trip. So 8 months of just being away from home, eating really cheap because I had very little money in the reserves. And I got to Japan and I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I'd been on the road, I guess, 4 months continuously, basically. And so I just wanted to sleep. I wanted to eat an American cheeseburger. And I didn't want to see the shrine. I wanted to watch a movie from my hotel room. So I got to go back. I loved it, but I was just too exhausted. And I really want to go back there and give it like a beautiful cinematic video, make a little guide to Tokyo. I also really liked Osaka. Yeah. So that's
well, Japan is always on
the
top of the list of like, you know, where people want to go, and lots of guys are, you know, coming
I'm feeling Africa too so bad. Like I don't see any videos really in Africa, like a colder video here and then some other ones, but like man, I feel like there's a lot of beauty there, and like maybe some negative stigma that pushes people away because it's not villa living, but like man, there's probably some beautiful stories to tell, some beautiful nature, wildlife, and people. Like, why not?
There's all sorts of different stories that can be told on a single place, but I think what I don't want to say nobody, what few people have done with places like Africa is they haven't actually showed people what it's like. So you can watch a beautiful cinematic video, but okay, you saw like highlight of Africa, you saw the beautiful villa that overlooks like a pond where all the animals are bathing, but like, what's the real Africa? I don't even know. I've not watched any videos like that. And
I'm sure every single country is unique to its own. Like when I see an African safari or something cinematic, I don't know what country that is usually. Yeah. Like I'm a bit uneducated on the whole continent besides like Morocco and South America or South Africa. Yeah. Yeah. Where am I? Too much wine.
Okay, so we got one last question here. We'll quickly go through this one. This is from @Joshua_Sagravis, I guess. For High in Life in Lost Leblanc, what's your favorite place to travel in the U.S.?
Okay.
Ding, ding,
I think my favorite in the U.S. would be, I really love like outdoor stuff. So like cities are cool and all, but I kind of get bored of them pretty quick. Like, especially for shooting. Like, what do you shoot? The coffee shop? Lunch, dinner, it's like it kind of gets dull a bit unless you can find ways to give it a unique twist. But I loved going to Moab in Utah.
Yeah.
You took mine. One. I was gonna do 2 actually.
Okay, what?
Yeah. Well, no. Go ahead. Tell your story of Moab.
I went with my mom. It was like I had just graduated from high school, and my mom wanted to do like a just son and mom trip, and so that was cool. Like we just went hiking, and I wasn't filming back then. I had never even thought about it. I think I just started doing Photoshop. Like I used to Photoshop stupid photos. Like I took like the planes and I Photoshopped the Breaking Bad RV in with like the smoke coming out the back and just like, did a photo of me in my underwear.
You know what? That should be your next Instagram photo.
Just do it.
Please.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah, bring it back, please.
It's humble. They're all there. I mean, if anyone wants to scroll to the end of my feed, you'll see like I just used to Photoshop ridiculous photos.
Let's go now.
But that was the first thing I had that was, I guess, creative. It was where I started. And those skills actually somehow went on to be useful.
How old were you then?
I guess I don't even know what the math on that would be, but I guess it would have been 19.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 25 now.
Nice.
For me, Utah was, I think, close to being number one for me because of Moab, because of like Provo was amazing with our friends that we stayed at, Corona Arches, Zion, all that stuff. Like within less than 48 hours, we did Moab, we did Zion, we did Provo in the mountains there, and I just remembered, and the salt flats out there too. And I just remember like, how is this one state have so much diversity in the plains? Like we're in the desert, in the mountains, and the salt flats. It just blew my mind, and that was the first place I joined during the American road trip. I was like, this is the States, like. Damn, I can't wait for the rest of the trip. And then number 2, a bit different, but Texas.
Oh yeah,
Texas is crazy. Like we did Austin, we did San Antonio, we did what was the?
No, we did Austin.
What was the one with the gunslingers and we were in search of the
Banderas?
Oh, Banderas. Yeah, that was
Banderas,
insane. We actually went out to a place where like it was the true Texas, I would call it that, riding horses, shooting guns, like the nicest people in the world, but you pissed them off. You know, don't do that.
That's why everyone is so nice down there, because everyone has guns. You gotta be you gotta be careful.
I really feel like Texas could be its own country, and they actually do have the laws. They could become their own country. I've been told a million times, but there isn't like one favorite place I have, but those were the 2 that just come to my mind.
Yeah.
Very different, but had some incredible experiences there.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, my favorite place has got to be Florida. Florida for sure.
Yeah, that's
good. It's very diverse in terms of the people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The crazy Floridans always.
That's right.
I look at the drone footage of us driving the RV down the Florida Keys and droning it.
Oh yeah.
I was looking like, wow, we did that. That's crazy.
That's right.
You know, I actually kind of take back my answer. I just thought about my favorite is because I'm so. you don't think of it as America, but Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's
Oahu
true.
is my favorite place in the world. I think if I have to settle down somewhere. For me, Oahu sounds pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
You have development, you have the comfort of North America, the easy access to Vancouver with direct flights, and
6
it's just
hours away.
beautiful.
Yeah, 7 hours.
Yeah. I always forget.
Sorry,
That's
Moab.
right.
Yeah. You've been knocked down to number 2.
Well, unfortunately, our producer's saying we gotta go. Unfortunately. End of show. Not the end of the show. Tell us and tell the fans. If you have anything that you want to plug, or if you have any future plans you want to share with us.
I mean, I do videos every Saturday on YouTube and also Gramming these days. But aside from that, nothing really to plug. But like one thing I do recommend you guys do, like if you want to make your own income sources on YouTube, it'd be to create your own products. And that's something that I've been doing. Like I've been pushing my travel courses to Philippines, Thailand, Peru, to Bali. And I also have had the most success as of recently with my how to edit course. So if those are anything you're interested in checking out, it's in my Shopify store. Also a very, very solid platform. I love Shopify.
Yeah.
And guys, I mean, it's been a real pleasure to be on my first podcast.
We appreciate you being here.
It's a lot of fun, actually. It's just it's super chill.
Just having a conversation, drinking some Chilean wine.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you guys do want to learn from somebody, you want to get into the travel game, even the influencer game, Christian's been doing it since the beginning. He pioneered it, and he's got, like, especially because Southeast Asia is like in a hot spot to travel. He's done Philippines, Bali really well, Thailand. He's got some great courses out there, and he even teaches you how to edit. So, like, if you're starting out, go check him out.
Do we have a code?
Authentically, do we have a swipe up code?
Do we have a code at all?
I can get you guys a code.
I was actually looking at it.
All right, we'll look into it.
Yeah, and I can drop in some fat discounts.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right.
But honestly, man, thank you for coming on the show. It's great to have you on here. What is a good episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we will catch you in the next country, wherever the hell that's going to be.
That's right.
Probably Bali, actually.
Feels tropical.
Yeah,
Welcome back to Bali.
Here's that music again. Gotcha.
This is
A little
it.
bit of Kygo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me and Zach are coming to Bali to rent your place, by the way.
All right,
Nice.
dope.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, that's good. I wasn't going to tell you.